Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. We are getting very close to 70,000 once again. You guys can see Bitcoin teetering right here on the edge and right in there, $69,673 as of the time of this recording. So $70,000, that is a psychological level for Bitcoin right now. And many are discussing the fact that Bitcoin has, yes, breached its all-time high. As you guys can see over here, the all-time high was roughly $69,000 per coin. And yes, technically we have breached all-time high, although we are not really seeing that breach with conviction. So we need to see this thing blast up through the all-time high. Basically, we need to see a trend like this over the next few days. And yes, I do think that is going to happen very soon. Right now, we're just kind of percolating right up there. Bitcoin trying to find its footing before that final blast up. So as you guys can see, because we are very close to all-time high, greed is at 89. That is unwavering. We haven't really seen that number really go down over the last little while. Market cap over here at $2.64 trillion. We've got 24-hour volume. That is down a little bit, so we're not seeing too much action right now in the space. But Bitcoin dominance at 52%. So Bitcoin leading the charge, of course, looking to get above that $70,000 mark. We're seeing a mix of green and red in the altcoin market. Mostly a mix, right? A mix of green and red. Some of the coins that are doing well are doing quite well. Matic is up 6.2%. We've got BNB coin. That is now finally up 9.3%. But a lot of people are actually taking profits, a lot of profits from the altcoins, save for a few of them, like GRT, another great mover here, 16.34%. OKB is also up 14.32% as of the time of this recording. Unfortunately, guys, for us, XRP still kind of hovering down, actually down a little bit today. Right now, an XRP is trading at about 61.4, so just under 61.5 cents. Unfortunately, but guys, it's going to move fast and fast. The structure on the chart remains unbroken. The trend line for XRP still intact here, so we are not making any new lows, really. I mean, if we were to see this, which is what we saw during the lawsuit, that would not be good. Luckily, we are not seeing that kind of movement on the XRP chart. And so now might be the time for some investors to roll their altcoin profits into other cryptocurrencies, some low-lying cryptos that have not shot up yet. Again, this is not financial advice, but I'm noticing some people are doing this now. If you guys didn't catch the video I did yesterday about possibly rolling profits into XRP at this particular time, I'll put that up here in the top right-hand corner. I mean, I don't know. How many of your portfolios are diversified? Put it down in the comments section. Or do you just hold XRP? Let me know. Let me know, because I know that's going to definitely make a difference in what you guys decide to do with your hard-earned money. Okay, so things are still looking very positive. I got to say, for Bitcoin, we still have not breached that $70,000 level with conviction, not yet. I think we're getting very close, though, guys. This one from Smoke: if the stock market crashes, does that mean crypto crashes as well? So he's saying this: no, after the BTC ETF launches, there is no longer a correlation between the asset prices of the stock market and the crypto market. The decoupling has already begun. So this is, I guess, pretty good news for us traders who are, I'm mostly trading in cryptocurrency. That is the lion's share of all my investments. According to the data from research provider Fairlead Strategies, the 40-day correlation between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ currently stands at 0. So when you take a look at the NASDAQ, guys, NDAQ here, and you're taking a look at the Bitcoin chart, there is, now they're noticing 0 correlation here with the NASDAQ and Bitcoin. You guys can see the NASDAQ has had a couple of tumultuous years here, not being able to regain that all-time high. Obviously, Bitcoin is now teetering very close to its all-time high. So an interesting observation here with tech stocks and Bitcoin. So this correlation value is calculated using a mathematical formula based on the movements of the NASDAQ index and Bitcoin's price over time. Typically, a correlation above 0.5 suggests a moderately strong positive relationship, while readings above negative 0.7 indicate a robust relation. Conversely, negative figures of 0.5 or lower imply a lack of correlation. The correlation between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ has historically been positive since early 2020. So we have actually seen this correlation quite positive, quite strong in the early days, since early 2020, reaching a peak of 0.8 during the 2022 crypto bear market. However, the recent decoupling between the two can be attributed to the crypto market's singular focus on the anticipation of a spot Bitcoin ETF launch in the US. This potential development could pave the way for widespread adoption of Bitcoin as an asset class. And again, this is some research done from Fair Lead Strategies, brought to us by Smoke here on Twitter. So an interesting observation, I got to say, and probably good for us who might want to be a little more diversified if this market does go down further. Let's bring up the DJI, another stock exchange, Dow Jones Industrial Average here, and I already have the Fibonacci, as you guys can see plotted here on the chart. DJI at its peak, okay, very high from that last time that it did go down back in 2008. I brought the Fibonacci down from March 2007 all the way down to the trough February 2009. And guys, it has made a full fib. So now the question is, are we going to see markets collapse? Some are questioning the integrity of the banking system as well. So is it any surprise that people are now flocking to gold in anticipation? This from ISO 20022, let's do it. As gold prices soar, this shift could destroy US dollar and create a new currency. So maybe this is how we're going to eventually see a new currency come in, or rather the US dollar be debased. People are actually moving to gold right now. They're taking a look at the stock market and they're like, uh-oh, I'm going to get out of here. This is not for me. This kind of, this kind of risk is certainly not for me at this time. And here's the gold chart here on the monthly. And you guys can see it has soared. Here, I'll throw it on the daily. You guys can probably get a better idea on the day. That is gold on the daily, guys. The daily. So over the last few days now, we've seen gold prices just kind of pop. So guys, now it's anybody's guess what's going to happen next. I hope you guys are diversified. I know I've talked about holding physical gold and silver in the past on this channel. I don't talk about it too much. But here's another opinion from the Daniela Cambona show. Listen to this.
Do you have to believe in the dollar's demise to be bullish gold is the question?
No. That's a big picture reason. I think that'll eventually happen. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. But that's a reason the monetary system is going to have to shift, because our debt load is unsustainable. Everybody's seen the charts on the interest payments on our debt. That's not sustainable. Biggest spike in the history of them keeping records. They can't pay all that. They're probably going to create currency to do that. That's going to weaken the dollar even more. Long-term, big picture, yes, you should be in gold because of that.
So essentially what he's saying here, Jeff Clark, an investor, an analyst, a consultant, you need to be in gold for those reasons. Just again, another hedge against the current US dollar and the current system. People have always flocked to gold in times of uncertainty. And I'm assuming this is why we're seeing the price really kind of rally now as the DJI reaches its peak on the Fibonacci. So time will tell, guys. And they're considering Bitcoin digital gold. So is it of any surprise that we're seeing Bitcoin now flirting with that $70,000 level? And guys, don't forget, Bitcoin just brings the price of altcoins up with it. Kathy Woods here of ARK21 shares, iterating again at the 3-month mark from launch. More channels get switched on. And guys, maybe in 6 months, the biggest channels come online. So we could actually see Bitcoin even outperform its current targets.
Your price target for Bitcoin is bull case north of 1 million US dollars. So if you had that bull case for more than 1 million USD Bitcoin, has your forecast timeline to reach that price now shortened?
Yes, that target, what we evolved in, it was before the SEC gave us the green light. And I think that was a major milestone, and it has pulled forward the timeline. One thing I will say, right now, no wirehouse, so whether we're talking about Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch, B of A, or UBS or Wells Fargo, no platform has approved Bitcoin yet. So all of this price action has happened before they approve it. And so, we haven't even begun.
So what's your timeline for 1 million USD Bitcoin now? And is there perhaps a price target beyond that now?
Yes, our target is above that. We've got a 2030 target. So it's well above that. And with our new expectations for institutional involvement, the incremental price that we assume for institutions actually has more than doubled. So, I don't want to give out any particular prices, but because we don't know how quickly. We don't know how quickly. The more independent registered investment advisors in the United States, those platforms are saying, give us 3 months to do our due diligence. The others are saying we need at least 6 months. So, I would put those in the institutional bucket as well.
But in your view, Kathy, all of the factors are moving the price of this in an upwards trajectory.
Yes, indeed.
All signs looking very, very bullish for Bitcoin. And as you guys can see here, Kathy Wood of ARC21 Shares is saying, their price projection over $1 million per BTC and much higher than that into 2030. Now, reiterating again at the 3-month mark from launch, okay, more channels are getting switched on. In 6 months, the biggest channels will come online. So 3 to 6 months, guys, that is kind of primed here for Bitcoin price discovery to, first surpass all-time high. I think that is a given at this point. And, as Anthony Pompliano said, it usually or has taken in the past less than 18 days at that point for Bitcoin, once it does reach its all-time high, to double in price. So reaching its all-time high, doubling in price would bring us to a $140,000 Bitcoin. That would bring us up 100%. So all eyes waiting to see what happens next. Of course, guys, banks like Citibank, one of the world's largest liquidity providers in the world, doesn't give a crap about your meme coin. They want cross-border liquidity. So, when we're looking at our coins and we're thinking to ourselves, why hasn't my utility coin rallied yet? The long play, the long game, I think utility coins are still in play. Of course, we can still trade them in the spec market. This is why I've diversified. For my Patreon subscribers, you know all about that. You can find out more at patreon.com/workingmoney channel. If you want to see what I'm trading this bull run actively, I'm showing you guys everything with my $10,000 plus portfolio over there at patreon.com. And so banks like Citibank, they want cross-border liquidity, and they even mentioned it here, courtesy of High Vibe on Twitter. Listen to this.
For Citi token services for cash and for trade. So now what we can do is we can move tokenized deposits around Citi's, corridors. Right now it's just US and Singapore, with aspirations of adding another 3 to 5 in the next near term. Well, it's great that we have this internal token, but our clients don't want a Citi token or another bank token. What they want is cross-bank, cross-border liquidity. So it's key that now that we have the infrastructure of the platform built internally, we work with Regulated Liability Network and other participants about how do we solve these difficult issues as an industry. And there's still a lot of questions out there, but this FMI that RLN aspires to be is extremely positive.
So Citi's focus, their priority is on cross-border liquidity. Of course, XRP, built for that exact purpose. Wrath of Kahneman here posting this, okay? Ripple figures prominently in the digitalization of financial services, okay? Another paper here, Opportunities and Threats to Kuwaiti Banks. Back in September, they did release a report. We already know Ripple is a partner of the Kuwaiti banking industry. And so here it goes. Worldwide, the banking industry has undergone significant transformation, starting from the introduction of mainframes in the early 60s to enabling 24/7 banking and ATMs and online banking in the 1990s. But the last 2 decades have ushered in further financial and banking transformations driven by ultimately evolving forces, the so-called digital revolution. 3 main factors have driven the digital revolution: ubiquitous data, high interconnectivity, and increased processing powers. These factors laid the groundwork for superior technologies, evolving conventional banking and financial methods. And they talk a little bit more about this. This is the full paper here that I have the PDF. I will link it in the description of the video for you guys. Wrath of Kahneman noting, though, that they do mention Ripple as a partner. This collaboration between the National Bank of Kuwait and Ripple is a real example of how blockchain technology can provide significant benefits in terms of security, transparency, and efficiency, revolutionizing the banking sector in Kuwait. And Kuwait, just one of the multitude of countries that are now leveraging RippleNet technology for their banking services, especially in the Middle East. The Middle Eastern world, very, very favorable towards Ripple. Their banking sector is very XRP friendly because XRP is a Sharia compliant coin too. That's just another layer on top of it, let alone the fact that it is superior technology. So, when we're talking about American banks like Citibank looking for the world's largest liquidity providers, XRP, of course, just needs to be unleashed once we do have regulatory clarity. We're already seeing it in the Middle East. So I wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Not only that, guys, the WEF is also telling us that acceleration of digital inclusion is going to happen for 1 billion people, so 1/8 of the world by the year 2025. That is just around the corner. So think of this for a second, okay? We are implementing programs that will ensure that our citizens have access to affordable smart devices and possess appropriate digital skills to harness the benefits of a digital cashless economy. They are looking to go cashless. They want us all on digital currencies, but especially the most vulnerable, the poorest of the world. We invite partners, corporates, and governments within the Edison Alliance to accelerate their commitments to ensure universal and lasting digital inclusion for 1 billion lives. And then over here, what do they say here? The digital revolution is an empowering force for people and planet, yet billions, especially those most vulnerable populations of societies, remain offline or poorly connected. That is why UNDP became a founding member of the Edison Alliance, and we are very pleased to see how it has accelerated wider adoption of digital inclusion through collective advocacy and country-level initiatives. So again, guys, they want everybody on board by 2025, coming from your favorite organization, the World Economic Forum, courtesy of the ISO goat here. So on the heels of that, another one from the Wrath of Kahneman. In the fourth revolution and the bottom 4 billion, making technologies work for the poor. Another document here, guys, and I do have it up here, the fourth revolution. Again, a lengthy, very, very lengthy document, 375 pages. So, of course, not going to go over this, but essentially discussing, this new fourth revolution, okay? And part of that has to do with finance, the Wrath of Kahneman here, making note yet again of Ripple. So Nir Khatri features a number of Ripple and XRP ODL-based examples here in the paper. Here in this clip, colors added to SCB's partnership and the clear Euro and GDP into the Thai SCB partnership that they clear Euro and GBP into the Thai baht. So what he mentioned down here, using blockchain solutions, settling a remittance sent from Europe to Thailand takes more than one business day, generally speaking. But with RippleNet, Siam Commercial Bank clears pounds and euros into Thai baht in less than a minute. So noting the on-demand liquidity too here, they say using the on-demand liquidity, banks can avoid pre-funding. This lets them settle remittance quickly. On-demand liquidity is especially attractive to payment companies and non-banking institutions that are required to open overseas accounts to fund their transfers. Many such institutions face difficulties opening overseas bank accounts due to concerns related to money laundering. So just another example here in this paper, the fourth industrial revolution, making technologies work for the poor. So along the same lines here of what the World Economic Forum is trying to push here, accelerating digital inclusion for 1 billion people by 2025. So another great find here from the Wrath of Kahneman. They also want to allow the Western world to feel like they have some kind of freedom, maybe the illusion of such. PayPal Zoom offers free remittances for stablecoin users. So, PayPal did just come out with their stablecoin, the PYUSD. And so now they're saying, I guess as an incentive to start using stablecoins and maybe to get used to the idea of a CBDC, PayPal's overseas money transfer app Zoom will pay no fees if they use the company's stablecoin PYUSD for their transfers. The move is a way for PayPal to build out its share of the international remittance market, where it trails market leader Wise, and to expand the use case for PYUSD, which was launched last year. I think, to be honest with you, this is a ploy, a bit of a what could we call it? A manipulation tactic, perhaps, to get people to accept the fact that, okay, we already live in a by and large, there are a lot of younger people that do not use cash already. So, if you can use something that is akin to a dollar, that isn't necessarily the US dollar, but it is a stable coin, well, that's the first step to get us to accept central bank digital currencies. Here's a quote. For mainstream adoption of digital currencies, you need two things: frictionless experience for consumers and merchants, and a reason to use them. That can be either convenience or financial incentives. PayPal's PYUSD, like other stablecoins, is a blockchain token that is backed by reserve and designed to maintain to peg the US dollar. While stablecoins are primarily used in crypto markets, Fernandez da Ponte and others view them as a means to transfer money that is faster and more efficient than conventional fiat currency networks. So they're already building the narrative here, and with the help of companies like PayPal, they can start to get us engaged in using these digital currencies that are moving further away from the US dollar. Anyway, just another observation there. Wanted to thank ISO 20022 for pointing that out. Guys, the hunt has been on Ripple for a while, and Stephen Nerayoff exposes this. In a recent sit-down with Ito Farina and some others, why did the SEC choose to go after Ripple? Well, Ripple was too good to catch, and so they had to rig the game. Listen to this.
Why do you believe they came after specifically Ripple? That seems to be the one that is a legit business out there.
Why did they target Ripple in particular?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Yes.
it depends kind of like, if you look at it from a broader perspective, what were they trying to do with Ethereum, right? And so if you've got, JP Morgan's got this quorum, which they transfer to consensus and then and put on an Ethereum, right? And which can do cross-border payments. And cross-border payments, could lead to the reserve currency of the world, right? Like, I mean, look, it's not that much of a leap to get there, right? If you have to go through this thing to go from one currency to another, this thing may become the reserve currency, right?
Absolutely.
But check the cross-border payments. So, I've heard people like I know Charles, said, they're not even a smart contracts platform. And I said, well, maybe smart contracts was not what they were targeting, and we should be happy because, I'm not targeting Cardano, but Charles is a friend, so I'm not like, but like I get that that's like you're in, the knee-jerk reaction, but what's the ultimate thing? And I think the issue was really, if I had to say it, Ripple goes back to your question before. Ripple was too good to catch, even if you had like the full strength of the federal government, unless you changed the rules, illegally blocked and tackled and did all kinds of stuff in order to slow them down,
Right.
and so you could catch them, and you weren't going to catch them. They just had too much of a lead. There's a point where just even the government is not going to be able to catch a company, and it didn't work. They thought, I'm sure they thought it would work, but at the same time, they would have accomplished the second task, because if they got Ripple and said Ripple is, a security, and there's no reason that all the smart contract tokens would have also been classified, and you could have really see a world. And this is where it's scary. You could see a world where we would just have two tokens that are not securities, and Ethereum and Bitcoin.
So the company, being so efficient and so competent at what they do, they were very hard to catch, and so government had to rig the game in order to make it so. Huge revelation here by Steven Nerayoff. Got to thank him and Ito Farina, of course, for hosting this podcast. Looks like Ito Farina was hosting this from a few days ago. Although it doesn't feel like it now, guys, if it is still your, maybe first or second bull run and you're feeling a little shortchanged, I mean, XRP did not perform in the last bull run the way we thought it would. XRP is not performing right now the way, some were hoping it would with clarity, legal clarity. Step back and think about this for a second, courtesy of Michael Branch here. Bill Morgan believes XRP will break its 6-year-old all-time high of $3.84. And here are some of the reasons. Prominent attorney Bill Morgan, renowned for his pro-XRP stance, has voiced his bullish sentiment that XRP will break its 6-year all-time high. Guys, I've got the tweet up here. He first states, no appeal will disturb the finding. XRP itself is not a security. You are correct. The SEC said it will not appeal that finding. The market took it into account as the short-term price rises did show. I think the market did care about the lawsuit, but the impact on XRP price was baked in by early 2021. So what Bill is saying here is, we were kind of expecting XRP to not surpass its all-time high, or at least we should have expected it in 2021, that the price was already baked in. When the lawsuit ends, though, regardless of the penalty, I think the market will react positively. And he gives 4 factors here, The market needs to see, number 1, legal clarity on the status of the asset itself. Number 2, the lawsuit finally ended. Number 3, XRP being sold on U.S. exchanges, which I've mentioned quite a lot here on the channel. Number 4, Ripple still able to sell its XRP and use XRP in its cross-border payment and liquidity solutions in the U.S. and not the subject of a business stultifying permanent injunction. So we only have 1 and 3 now, thanks to Judge Torres. 2 and 4 will unlock the deferred massive impacts of 1 and 3. The lawsuit still matters, but XRP can still reach all-time high this year without 2 and 4. I think personally, because we've seen the price action just kind of mimic what we've seen even before the lawsuit, I'm not too worried about it not popping quite yet. The biggest concern for me is this. Back in 2021, it did not breach all-time high, and I was assuming it was because of the on and off ramps. More people in the US specifically trading XRP is going to mean more volume, more demand eventually for XRP. And so I think Bill has a point. All-time high will be breached. Remember how quickly XRP popped in this first leg up here and then by this second time here. It only took a few weeks, guys. Keep the faith. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.